Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk all things intimacy versus attraction. I want to talk about the definition of love that can be limiting to us and what can actually open us up to experiencing our highest potential in the area of experiencing love, the giving and receiving of love. And also, I want to highlight today a particular realm in which I've found myself in the past get really trapped by, and I see it all the time. And I've been having some interesting comments on some of my videos recently about this topic and some questions that sparked my desire to create today's message for you guys right now. And basically that's all around this idea of, can we love everyone, right? Or is that limited to my intimate partnership? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And so today I want to really help us to get a whole new, more empowering, more inclusive kind of perspective on these topics so that we can differentiate between our relationships with everyone in the world and what makes the difference between our intimate partnership and those other relationships. And I want to talk to you guys about basically one of the major lessons I've had to go through in terms of figuring out whether I can experience love and freedom simultaneously in intimate partnership. And I really struggled with this topic, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that today in the hope that it resonates with you and maybe helps you to fast track your depth of connection with the people closest to you, experiencing what it is to know that love and freedom are certainly not mutually exclusive, and they can be all encompassing with the right perspective and directing your life from the right places. All right. So sometimes it just takes a shift in perspective to make a massive transformation in your experience of the world and in particular our intimate partnerships. So let's dive in. Today, my hair's doing this funny thing, but whatever it's doing, it's doing. So today we're talking about the fact that we want to seek intimacy in all relationships, all right? I'm going to talk into why that is, but reserve attraction for our intimate partnerships. Okay, now this is something that I've been really experiencing a whole new realm of. And, a few years ago, you guys have been following me for a long time. You've been on this journey with me where I was struggling with how do we experience love and freedom simultaneously? Is it possible to be in an intimate partnership and feel the depths of love, but also experience full freedom to be all of who we are, right? And because of past experiences at that point in my life, I really didn't know if it was possible because it hadn't been my experience. I felt that my intimate partnerships I had experienced love, but I felt really restricted, right? I felt like I didn't have any freedom. I felt like it was quite controlling, and I was, overly controlling of myself, and I felt like my partner was potentially controlling as well. And so kind of entering these very codependent dynamics. And basically that's where most of our relationships are, right? We're in this codependent neediness and restrictive because of the insecurities of our own and of our partners, and we limit our capacity to love because we mess up and mistake the definition of love actually being messed up with attraction. And so this is how we get this concept of, the one and only, right? So that we decide and we kind of romanticize that in our intimate relationship, it's the one and only, it's the twin flame, it's the soul connection, and it's, it's like that's the place that we're in love with that person and they get all of our love. And if we express love into other relationships or to people in general, that's actually threatening the relationship. That might be deemed as emotionally cheating, lots of different things that we can get into, all right? But I'm going to be talking to you guys today about high level development in intimate partnerships. I'm not at all talking about the game playing, the dating world, the manipulation, the surface level connections. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm painting a picture for an evolution of our intimate partnership so that you can access your highest potential in it. And it requires individuals taking part in the co-creation of that who are completely committed and take full responsibility for their own growth and their potential, and they refuse to limit themselves or another on that journey. In fact, they want to encourage whatever is healthiest for each other on that journey. And as insecurities and challenges arise, which they inevitably do, we have a trust in working through those and actually knowing that they're the stepping stones to reaching higher levels of our depth of connection and intimacy and authenticity and all the rest of it, all the good stuff, right? So let's talk about transforming our definition of love so as to separate it from attraction. Okay, because in my past, I felt like, oh, if I'm in relationship, like this person gets all of me, and I can't have any other friendships. I can't have any, like, this is a toxic mindset, right? Well-intentioned, but not so healthy, very codependent. But like I should, direct most of my love towards this person and maybe some family members, maybe some close friends, but like really it's all about the one and only that we're with. And basically, when I left a long-term relationship a few years ago, basically I experienced this whole new realm of love and freedom in terms of I felt like I could express all the love that's within me to everybody that I get to connect with, to everybody, you guys tuning into a message like this. Like I have a lot of love and appreciation for human beings, right? And I have a lot of curiosity in getting to know them at a really intimate depth. That's why I do the things that I do, right? That's why I'm a coach, right? And so it also reflects the fact that my highest, most top value above all else is intimate depth of connection and love. And so if I restrict myself to only being able to experience intimate depth of connection and love with my partner, I've mistaken it and I've misequated it to actually attraction. All right, so this is what I want to talk to you guys about. You have such a high capacity to love. And when you access your full capacity to love, and that isn't limited to particular special people, and you're able to expand that reach greater and greater, starting from within and expanding out, that is your ticket to living a rich, fulfilling, enlivening life, right? And it's very different to what attraction is, all right? So attraction is different to the love that you can have for everybody. So, and this is why I say that we want to have intimacy, which is me being able to see the depths of who you are at your core and allowing you to see all of who I am authentically, transparently, without limitation, right? I'm not talking about sex, right? I'm talking about the intimacy and the depth of connection that can be experienced when we show up and we be all of who we are without restriction, without apology, without limitation. All right, we get to see into others and we allow them to see truly into us. That's intimacy. All right, and you want that in every single one of your relationships. In my life, because my highest possible value is intimate depth of connection and love, if you're not going deep with me, if you're not sharing who you truly are at your core, and that means, the light, the dark, that means the strength and the vulnerability, right? Like that means everything about who you are. I don't have the time and energy to waste with you, right? Because my value, that's my highest value. If I'm not aligned with that, I'm not living my most fulfilling life, right? And so the standard for the intimate depth of connection I require at all levels of relationship, obviously in your intimate partnership, but definitely in my friendships, right? if I'm going to be friends with you, like we're going to go deep, right? In my family relationships, sometimes when it comes to family, it's a little bit more limiting because not everybody might share the same, you didn't get to choose your family, right? And they might not share the same desire to grow and be as vulnerable and courageous as going into that intimate depth. So that might be a little bit more limited, right? You might have more surface level connections there, but the connection of family and history may be something that you just still decide to have those connections with. And definitely with my clients, right? Like I feel so grateful that I've managed to build a business out of doing what I love most, which is co-creating intimate depth of connection and love and inspiring people to reach their potential, right? As I'm doing that. And so I require the highest possible standard of intimate depth of connection and love in all of my relationships because it's my highest value, and I'd encourage every single one of us to hold a high value on that, because I do believe it is the purpose of everybody's lives, is to love and be loved. We just go about different pathways for creating those opportunities, okay? And basically what I do is I reserve the attraction that I stand guard of, and I restrict that to my intimate partnership. Now that's because I choose monogamy, all right? For other people, it sometimes works the other way, right? Where what can work for other individuals, and that's totally right for them, is to have their attraction be dispersed into multiple different directions. They can have intimate partnerships and sex with different people, right? But then they reserve the intimacy in terms of the depth of who they are for that one special person. That can work, and I never knock anything that works for other people if they're happy and they're healthy and everybody's in agreement and it's working for them and it's growing them. It works, right? But what I'm just sharing my personal perspective and my personal experience as an opportunity for you to see what resonates with you and get deeper clarity over what you feel is right based on your own experiences, your own values, okay? But that's what sets my intimate partnership at a different level or just a different category than every other single one of my relationships. And that's very important for me personally and for my partner to have clarified, right? To know that, okay, what makes the difference between, because I experience such depth of connection with everybody that I invite into my life, and that's what is so important to me as an individual. What sets the difference for my intimate partnership, my life partner that I'm choosing to co-create life with? And basically that comes down to navigating attraction dynamics and, protecting and nurturing and honoring that dynamic by making sure that I direct my attraction and I play with the dynamics of attraction and grow in those realms with that special person, all right? And that is just what I wanted to express to you, because I get so many people who, it is innate for us as human beings to love, right? To love fully and be loved fully. And when we restrict that because we've mistaken and kind of, made love equal attraction when it's totally separate, that is what becomes very limiting. And that's what can create an experience of feeling trapped in your relationship dynamics, where you feel like you're only limited to express the depths of your capacity to love with that one individual, rather than the full capacity that you have to express it and experience it with everyone. All right. And when it comes to, so to me, the reason why I had to be so crystal clear on that and why I'm doing the things in my personal life that are giving me the experience of navigating this and experiencing it and seeing what works and what doesn't work and really, going to town with discovering that is basically because I value depth of connection so much, and I want to express love to everybody that I get to connect with, because to me that is my authentic core, like I believe it is as every human being. but I do protect and nurture the attraction, right? It wouldn't feel right to me to, even though I'm experiencing a depth of intimacy, seeing into another, allowing them to see into me, and if they weren't my partner and I was playing the attraction category with them, that to me wouldn't be right. Right? And so that's how I separate intimate partnership from all other relationships, but require the highest possible standard of intimate depth of connection and love in every single one of them. Look at love as separate to attraction. All right? And the difference between any relationship and your intimate partnership is the attraction piece. All right, so it's not to say that you're not going to experience attraction for other human beings, right? We all have eyes and we all have, you know, our own biology that allows us to experience that attraction. But basically, you hold the power for that, right? As you evolve and you grow and you become self-empowered, you can choose whether you direct your sexual energy in a multitude of different directions or you savor that for your partner. Because my belief is, and see if this resonates for you, we only have so much sexual energy, all right? And so we can decide to disperse it in a multitude of different directions and we kind of just stay on the surface, or we can decide to channel all of that energy into a really special partnership that's inclusive of that intimate depth, but now you're also adding to the equation the attraction elements, and now you get to experience the real depth of connection in intimate partnership, right? Instead of dispersing the same energy into a multitude of different directions, you are now channeling that in one, and you've got a partner who does the same. So, you know, my idea of living a fulfilled life is reaching my highest potential in all realms. And so that's what I choose to do with my own energy. And I hope that this resonates with you guys as well. So, as usual, I would love to hear from you guys. So drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you have on this topic? I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. And definitely, oh, if this message is of value to you guys, please do share it. That's such a gift that you give to me to expand into the minds and hearts of other amazing individuals. And I will say Facebook is not liking me at the moment because I am still doing what I'm doing and I'm not paying for them to promote my content. And so I think the algorithms are kind of working against me a little bit. So I'd appreciate so much you interacting with these posts so that I can get out to you guys so you don't miss these messages as well. All right, let me dive in. Who have I got in the house? I have got Bill. Hello to you, my friend. Good to see you. And Daryl's back from the Great White North. I love it. And Daryl says 5 languages of love, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch, acts of service. Awesome book by the amazing Gary Chapman. So that's awesome. Highly recommend, checking out how you receive love. Absolutely. And making sure that there is a way that you give love and a way that another receives love, right? So that's a really great book to get you started in terms of bridging that gap. Absolutely. Love that, Daryl. And any of you guys who have done your, because there's a free test, like a free survey you can do on the 5 love languages by Dr. Gary Chapman's website. But have you done your test? And do you know what your top love languages are? I will say for me, I know mine are definitely physical touch and quality time. All right, so love it. And I have got John. I'm loving that this is resonating with you, my friend. Always good to see you. And Javier, what a vision. I respect everything you talk about. Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, I so appreciate those kind words, Javier. And I'm so grateful to have you back, as usual. Grateful that you're finding value in these messages. And my friend Jose is in the house. Always get excited by what you're going to comment on. So here we go. Hello, Vanessa. I'm going to share with you my experience. I was married for close to 11 years. It's shocking that I found out that my ex was pretending to be someone she was not. Wow. After the divorce process, it came to the light that the one that she was, the real one was. Okay. Yeah. Through challenges, you get to really see who people are, right? Since then, I've been afraid to get into a new love relationship. I know we are different and know not everyone will do if the opportunity presents. I run away like I saw a vampire that probably will suck my blood. I want to believe in love again. Time is going by fast. I'm 43 now and I don't know if surrendering and letting a new experience happen again. Jose, firstly, my heart is solely with you, my friend. I really feel you on that. Our experiences, our past experiences, when we have such ones as you have had and we feel our trust has been broken, we feel manipulated, we feel like we can't trust ourselves because we felt blindsided, and all these sorts of things kind of happen. The number one thing I believe, is to never let anybody else's insecurities and poor choices make you close your heart. Like I said, if the purpose of life is to love fully and be loved fully, don't close yourself off from that. You're not living. I want to give you the number one book recommendation I can possibly give you in this case, which is the book by Robert Holden. It's called Lovability. And when I went through a particularly challenging breakup a few years ago, that made me feel like I didn't even realize how controlling the dynamic was. I felt like I couldn't even trust myself. I felt totally blindsided, right? It took me getting out of the relationship to be able to see what was really going on and the unhealthy dynamics. It really hit my courage muscle, right? Like I felt like, wow, like how could I have not known? And it was particularly repeated by people in my life who were like, told me the truth at that point and said, what were you thinking? You know, we were all concerned about you. And I thought, geez, like how did everybody else see it? No, I didn't. How did I miss that? And it really knocked me for six, right? And I picked up that book that I'd actually read a few years prior, but I picked up that book and I religiously read it every single night. I read some pages. And it just allowed me to put everything into perspective and take back my own power and my own ownership and never let anybody or their insecurities or their ways of life or even my past self's mistakes allow me to close off my heart. All right. So I would very much recommend that. I recommend it to everybody. I feel like it's the Bible of self-love and the foundation of intimate partnership, and it will allow you to see your own patterns, have compassion and self-love, and open yourself up once again for the most amazing experience you can hope to have in life, right? And you know, just like our intimate partnership is like love on steroids, right? If it's great, it's super amazing. And if it's bad, it is terrible, right? And so sometimes opening yourself up back to love based on challenging experiences means maybe you've got to take some time for yourself. I'm a big believer in building the core relationship with yourself and then starting to move that forward with your relationships with, I know you have children, I'm pretty sure, Jose, maybe with your children. With family members or close friendships or a coach or a mentor that you really trust, starting to open yourself up in those safer environments will allow you to build the courage and the muscle to trust yourself enough. And trust, when I say trust, I mean trusting in your ability to handle being hurt again, right? And other people's insecurities, making poor choices, and that's going to happen, right? But if you have a deep trust within yourself to be able to handle that, it won't matter anymore. You'll be able to open yourself up in the way that you most want to. But build that muscle, build that experience, that it's all about you and your connection to self and the trust that you have within yourself, and start in those safe environments, and definitely pick up Lovability by Robert Holden. All right. So appreciate your share, my friend. Always grateful. And Judy's in the house as well. And John, it really does, Ness, as always. So grateful to hear that, my friend. And Graham, good to see you. I imagine there are times when it's right and needed to be intimate with people, but do you think there is specific times when not? On a friendship level, of course, if you sense it would be the wrong thing to do. Depends on your definition of intimacy, right? So this word just gets thrown around so much. And most people, when they hear the word intimacy, they're thinking about sex, right? We're thinking about like physical intimacy. Now, I would say that if it feels wrong, right, because we're all individuals, we all have different values. To me, it comes down to what's my intention here? And I really have built the muscle and continue to build the muscle of feeling into and trusting my own intuitions about things. If something feels off, that means it's out of alignment with what feels right to me, with what my values are, and I wouldn't want to do that, right? If it feels right and it feels healthy and it's not in conflict, with hurt, it's not going to hurt other people, right? Then why not? Like my definition of intimacy is being totally transparent and open with who each other are, and allowing other people to see who you truly are, and desiring and being curious enough to want to know the depths of another person's soul as well. Now, when it comes to physical intimacy, that's not something that, from my perspective, for me, that's going to be something that I experience with my chosen intimate partner. But I'm not going to experience that with friendships, right? And I think there is a lot of gray area, right? Like what are you communicating about in those friendships? Does that threaten the intimate connection in terms of the trust, the respect, and really honoring the attraction element of your intimate partnership? Well, don't do it, right? So it is an experiment that will lead you to the greatest depths of intimate connection and love, and be able to discern between what you experience with all relationships versus that intimate partnership. And I will say this as well. Being all of who you are and sharing the depths of who you are, right? Allowing somebody into the truth of who you are, I think we should be selective with who those people are, right? Is it self-loving and honoring to invite this particular person into that realm with you, all right? Because not everybody is going to be able to nurture you in that vulnerability, the strength of that vulnerability, the courage of that vulnerability. But you've got to discern and decipher how other people treat themselves, how they are open to the depth of who they are. It's going to be how they treat you. And if they're insecure about sharing pieces of who they are, well, they're probably going to judge you and invalidate you. That's a possibility, right? So you've got to be discerning about how much you open yourself up to who. And I'm a big believer in earning each other's trust, right? Through experience, a little bit more open. It's a journey, okay? And we're all individuals, and if we're in intimate partnership, you got to have some conversations about both of you and what feels right to you, and what choices are going to work for the unique co-creation that you have with one another. All right, so that's very, very important. But don't shy away from it. Don't put it in the too hard basket, right? Go into this knowing full well that the purpose of our lives is to love fully and be loved fully to our highest possible potential. And that can't be limited to one person. So find out what dynamics work for you. And that's what works for me. Keeping attraction out of my other relationships, and honoring that and reserving that for my intimate partnership actively. All right, so love the question, Graham. I really hope that my answer to you was of value. So appreciate you being here. And Melkor, good to have you, my friend. It was your question yesterday on one of my posts that really made me see I should be doing a video on this. So thank you so much for being my muse. Awesome. And Matt's here as well. And John, you've given me a love of myself, which is really helping in my current relationship. Oh, John, that touches my heart. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm so grateful to know that you have that connection and that love within yourself that your partnership and your current relationship gets to soak up the benefits of. And as do all of us with the love that you share. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. And Jose, yes, I have a boy. He is 14. Thank you. Yeah, I think I saw a picture. He looks super cute and it looks like you have an amazing connection. So, you know, that is the safest environment. Like, a lot of people want to have children because they want to experience unconditional love, right? And so I'm a believer that you can experience that with anybody. But it takes a hell of a lot of work, and it all begins with your ability to unconditionally love yourself, right? Remove all conditions from your lovability. And you know, I don't have children myself, but like our relationships between parents and children, there tends to be that opportunity for an easier access to unconditional love. So I think that's a really safe zone to keep nurturing that muscle and keep expanding that out actively. So love that. And Graham, you are so welcome, my friend. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys for showing up live today. You are so appreciated. I always love your questions, your comments, the love that you guys share. I am just really, really grateful for each and every one of you guys. And like I said, please do share these messages. Please engage with them in some way so that I can get out of whatever Facebook sort of does to me, which stops my messages from getting to people. So I'd so appreciate that. And yeah, that is my message for you guys. Hope it's inspired you. Hope it's empowered you. Any more questions or comments, please do drop them below and I'll engage with you a bit later. And so much love. And my message, as usual, is to make sure that you are going out there and you are honoring your authenticity, you're deepening your intimacy, and you're contributing meaningfully and purposefully. All right, that's it from me today. And John, thanks again, Ness. My night is made. My day is made. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Much love.